victory today, and they set up a big matchup next week against Yale. But as we mentioned, all 7 teams still mathematically in the hunt for the Ivy League title as Princeton turns back to the freshman Mcmeekin, and he picks up where he left off last week. He was right around 50% against Dartmouth, against Mitchell Myers, who came in just a shade below 60. Mcmeekin, the big freshman, wins the draw for the Tigers. Into Stevens, one of those 16 seniors honored just before the game in a ceremony. He's an interesting skill set. He's played a lot of midfield. He's started a couple games on attack. Maybe the Tigers' best outside shooter, but you saw what he can do below the cage.
And you see the creativity by this Princeton offense. We mentioned Coach Byrne and how good he is.
With the equalizer early, 11:36 to go, opening quarter, 1-1 the score. Matt Barraco, first year out of Allentown, Pennsylvania, against another freshman, Andrew Mcmeekin, who's won 2 of the first 3.
And you've seen Mcmeekin, he's won the ball to himself. In the recruiting process, a lot of coaches thought Mcmeekin could play offensive midfield and face off, so showing off his athleticism so far today.
Mcmeekin really saw his first start. He saw his most significant action as a college player last week at Dartmouth. Walter Mackesy, who scored 28 last year as a freshman. Mackesy last year, 43 points, 4th most ever by a Princeton freshman. As the shot comes in, it'll stay with Harvard. That was Matt Barraco, the face-off man, who took a tumble off the draw win, but it'll stay with the Crimson.
And Barraco, also a very highly touted face-off man, like Mcmeekin, both from Philly. So a battle of some Philadelphia face-off guys here. They go way back to high school in matchups.
Both top 70 recruits. Mcmeekin inside Lacrosse's number 3 face-off guy. Barraco checked in at number 5 for whatever that's worth.
Angle to him and then gets his hands free, keeps his head up.
Sam King, just a sophomore, set up Teddy Malone, a first year. Harvard really only has 2 or 3 seniors that mix in on the offense.
And this program, we mentioned NCAA tournament a year ago with a lot of the same young guys, a lot of young guys who came in as well, like Malone. This program has a huge future. They are here to stay in the Ivy League.
More out of the Gilman School, who came into the day leading the Crimson in goals, assists, and points. Whistle on the face-off, violation against Mcmeekin, awards possession to Harvard.
And Harvard, after Princeton won the first couple of draws, they've done a really nice job settling down at the face-off game.
Yeah, Tigers won 2 of the 6 goals by 6 different players. Face-offs, 4-2 in favor of the Crimson. It's been a couple of first-year players. Mcmeekin gets upended, but Michael Bath with the ground ball. Right back to Gian Fercara, who gets it in and out of his stick as well as anyone.
And nice job by Mcmeekin. Barraco won the clamp there, but he does a nice counter to get possession for the Tigers.
Billings finally corrals it for school. Going to hear that a lot today. Princeton has 7 players on the roster from the Brunswick School, 3 for the Crimson. Played at Brunswick. If you want to know where these guys played in high school, if you say either Brunswick or Culver, got like a 20% chance of being right.
Both these coaching staffs in Princeton, they put him in a lot of different positions to be successful.
Mcmeekin wins the face-off. The horn sounds as the first quarter comes to an end with Princeton up 5-3 on campus. And 4 straight goals for the Tigers on senior day. Back to the face-off X. Ground ball by Stevens, but a hold and possession to Harvard.
And if you're Harvard, you've done a nice job. You're dominating the possessions when it comes to riding, clearing face.
3 years at North Carolina, now in his 2nd season, right up in Piscataway at Rutgers. One of the leading scorers for the Scarlet Knights. Face-off win by the Crimson. Finley was able to lash it away, but it'll be Harvard and their face-off man Barraco maintaining. And Jerry Byrne takes a timeout to settle things down.
Going to be tough for goalies, as we've mentioned. So many different releases.
6 straight goals for the Tigers. Clean face-off win for Mcmeekin, who lets it fly. That's a pretty safe shot with Stanek back there.
They've got the backup. Now it's time to play 6-on-6 offense, but
never seen a better pure shooter from different spots than Coulter Mackesy on a college lacrosse field.
His hands are tremendous, and then it's the ability to shoot in situations like that. There's no way the goaltender Barnard can see that. It's shooting off the defender's hip.
Harvard awarded possession on the whistle on the faceoff. All of a sudden, shots 24-14 in favor of the Tigers. Big reason for that 20-9 advantage on ground balls. So Harvard +3 on the faceoff, but the Tigers winning those 50 fly. He came into this one with 103 shots, 49 more than anybody else on the team, and he's taken 10 today. He's scored on 5. Princeton was down 3-2 in this, but they've scored the last 8.
And he has the ball in his stick a lot, but he gets a lot of those opportunities moving off the ball. Right there, we obviously see him as a Dodger in the pick game, but
up goals. Harvard gets a couple of those and can continue winning face-offs.
Well, Harvard's dominating face-offs, clears, and riding statistics, but Princeton has been so much more efficient offensively. So they're going to get their opportunities. Can they clean it up in the 6-on-6 sets? And we're seeing free. Great job by Sam King.
Talked a lot about that 5-goal day for Mcmeekin. The other player to watch pregame, Sam King. He's got 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points for the Crimson. 34 seconds to go in the opening half, a whistle against Harvard. So Princeton awarded possession.
And this is a huge possession for Princeton.
To see 3 by Rhonda, 2 for Cameron. Final 10 seconds, ball loose. Marquez White had a beat on it, but it's Harvard. Time for one final shot. Andrew O'Berry turned aside by Gianfrancaro as time expires. About where they've been a little bit inconsistent over the last 2 months. Coulter Mcmeekin, 91 in white. Sam King, number 7 in crimson. Both just sophomores. Both team leaders in scoring as we go to the face-off X. Princeton turns to Kobe Ginder. Harvard sticks with Matt Barraco, and that's another face-off win for the Crimson. They've now won 12 compared to 6 for the Tigers.
And Ginder gives this team a nice change-up at the face-off X to go along with Mcmeekin. Ginder had his moments a year ago in the run to the Final Four for the Tigers.
Ginder. Talk about guys taking advantage of opportunities late in their career. Christian Rhonda, prior to last season, had played 1 career game and had never taken a shot in a game. He had 25 points last year as a junior. He's now got 25 points here as a senior. And Harvard throws it away. Unforced turnover in an up-rate game. Goal number 8 for the junior. Clean face-off win. Here comes Matt Barraco trying to get the hands free, and he scores. First career goal for the first year out of Parkland High School in Allentown, and Harvard gets one back. Kind of figured with the way this was going at the face-off X, we'd see that from one side today.
And we talked about how highly touted both these face-off guys were, the freshmen, Mcmeekin and Barraco, and this is one of the reasons why. Not all face-offs are created equal, and when you can score off of them, it is a huge juice goal for your team and an energy booster.
Get the impression that might be a fun face-off match to watch for the next few seasons. Slusher tried to step inside his man. Ball is down. Slusher has a beat. Instead, that's Kistler with the ground ball. Stevens unsettled. Over to Coulter Mcmeekin with the right hand. What can't number 91 do? That's goal number 6 for the sophomore.
And complimentary lacrosse starts with the face-off win and the tough ground ball by his rope unit. And then Mcmeekin on the back end here. Strong left-handed tendencies. They're going to shade to protect the middle of the field to his left hand, and he goes down the alley right-handed, breaks the scouting report with his right hand.
Tigers once again doubling up Harvard 14-2 with just about 7 with about 5 minutes gone by in the third quarter. 6 goals, 7 points for Coulter Mcmeekin. Give him 5 straight games with at least 6 points. Talk about this face-off matchup. Mcmeekin and Barraco, both freshmen, both top 5 face-off recruits in this class. Both seeing some extended time late in the season. Tyler Sandoval, the Tigers' main face-off guy, out with an injury. Andrew DeGennaro, a sophomore from Long Island, has taken about 2.
are any worse defenders than long sticks. They're just more vulnerable not having as long a stick and being able to get their hands on defenders. Offensive players.
Jake Stevens with a ground ball off the face-off win by the Tigers. Sam King last year as a freshman, honorable mention all Ivy quarters, 15-3. So Cornell is in. Princeton clinched the first Ivy League tournament berth last week. So Princeton's in, Cornell is in. Penn looks like they're going to represent the Ivy League. Dylan Malloy back in 2016 with Brown, Ben Reeves, 2018 with the Bulldogs. And then you saw Gavin Adler on that list. He'll be a very high pick as a defender in the PLL draft. And Sam Handley, one of the scariest matchups if Penn gets into the tournament.
And I think you look at Adler, a defender, not just a one-on-one lockdown guy, can play within their defensive system. Really
Cheek picks up the ground ball and feeds Sam King.
Ferocious, complementary effort there. That everything adds up, the little things to that goal right there.
Stevens to Slusher. Pass was a little bit high, so Slusher has to settle. His career high in points was 10, also against the Bulldogs. He's got 9 points today. 16 shots for Coulter Mackesy.
And we talk about Mackesy, and you mentioned the Tewarden Award. Should this Tiger team go on a run here, Coulter Mackesy should be in some serious consideration for that award.
Now 5 straight games with at least 6 points. His last 5 games, he's got 39 points, and the Tigers trying to win their 4th out of their last 5. Trying to play their Ivy League game. Christian Ronda, 4 goals, 6 points. 17-9, Tigers on top. Trying to put a lid on a pretty successful home slate. This is their 8th home game. 8 of the 12 games on the schedule here in 1952.
He needs to give his team a spark, throwing him in there in a big moment.
Senior number 40,
Graham Blake,
Luke
2 goals
Moriarty.
today. He's a junior out of Ross, California. He had 1 goal in 3 games on the season coming in. Back to the face-off X, another victory for Mcmeekin. Face-off's just about even today, 15-14. Slight tilt to the Crimson. 2 minutes to play here in the 4th quarter.
And his development is going to be crucial for the Tigers down the stretch. Mcmeekin has all the elements of an elite face-off man. We'll see how close he can get to that point by the end of the year.
Just a freshman, definitely.
In terms of big picture, everything they want right in front of them, so certainly can take a lot of the good plays from this game with them like that.
Tigers win the face-off. Speaking of freshmen, Jackson Kane, number 15.